right, we're playing Wake of the Water, and what I'm doing is going through and checking our major mining and harvesting locations compared to the last video releases that I did on resource locations, and some things have changed. For example, we're going to start with clay. Clay is very important for making lots of things, especially fire brick. We use clay and other crafting recipes and things like that. So clay location, let's go to the Revelwood fast travel and find our better or best, because things have changed, clay mining locations. So we're at the Revelwood fast travel, and we used to get our clay right about where my head is, right down there. It is no longer there. I know you can see a lot of clay in the sides of the mountains, but that's not the best place to get clay. And we're looking for, in our strategy, mining locations and harvesting locations that are close to fast travel. So as we were coming to Revelwood, we passed by a very good clay mining point. I'm sure there are better, but this is just really quick to get enough clay to start you going. And there's certain points that when you start getting into it, you can actually harvest clay deeper inside this big rock. So that's clay. There's lots of other places for clay, but this is the quickest clay point that we come to when we need clay. So very quick to get to and get things going. Next is copper. And outside of the Mark of Samoth, so we're sitting here in Revelwood, and we got the crucible at the Mark of Samoth, but that's kind of far away to go to get copper. There's actually a source that's pretty good that's very close to the Revelwood Ancient Spire. So we glide down here where we used to get our clay, right here. You're going to see a spot in the ground where copper is. So right where we land, if you go right here, there's this little blotch of copper right here, and we're sitting, here's Revelwood, we just glided down here. We're sitting about here on the map. Now, what was interesting is, oh, here's a little bit of copper. That's cute, that's cool. In the previous major release, there used to be copper, a small spot like this, that was pretty good right next to the clay. And so we could come down here and do both clay and a little bit of copper. Now, there's actually a lot of copper here, enough to get whatever you need going, and then it'll reset when you reset the server or the game. And you can see we're down to stone right here, but if we're able to go outwardly and get more copper. So we're up to 80 right now, and I'm not going to keep going, but you can get a lot of copper down here very quickly. And there's other copper resources certainly around Revelwood, and even when you get into Nomad, there's a lot of copper that you're going to find there, but I'm not going to talk about the Nomad copper resource because that's not what this video is about. We're focused on the Revelwood mining and harvesting points. Next, we're going to talk about amber. And yeah, this changed majorly in this release. So we're at Revelwood, we're just going off the east side. Down here where we were just talking about clay, if you go beyond that into the Shroud, you can start to see amber. This used to be a wall of amber, and now it's not a wall anymore of amber. There is just a little bit of amber here. What's really interesting in the Wake of the Water release is that when I come over here to look at my amber, I'm getting acidic mycelium. This is typically I don't start getting until Nomad. So it's very interesting that they put this small resource here to get you going, get recipes going, and so on in the game. So we'll talk more about acidic mycelium, and when we get into the nomad episode. There's also a very small amount of sulfur down here to get your recipes started. It's very small amount, but you'll see that it'll kick off some potential recipes to help you start planning your harvesting and mining strategy in the wake of the water. However, for amber, one of my favorite or best place to go, unfortunately, is not in a good place. It's next to Flame Sanctum. It's an island in the middle of the Shroud. That's far away. It's easier for me to get to it from my Blackmire base, but not everyone's going to have that. So we're going to take off westerly, northwest of Revelwood, as if we were going to the Spindle Cave. So let me get some height. I'm on Ghost Glider, so you're not necessarily going to have that for this travel. And yeah, we're going to head over there now. So Ghost Glider, I'm able to go very far. Right now I'm flying over the cave where we got the spindle, down this road, and we're headed towards a shrouded area, which is right over here down this road. So we hang a left, we head down here, and we want to get some height. So we're 260 away, and what I'm going to do is just start heading up the hill here and get as much height as I can with the stamina that I have. And we're 200 this way, and maybe right here, 180. I get a little closer, a little higher maybe. Let's see here. Can I jump over to this? Yeah. So let's go to map. We're right here right now. There's the source I want to go to. I don't fly to it because it's a crevasse. You fall down into a deep area. What I'm going to do is glide over to the flame shrine here, over this tree. Got Ghost Glider, I have updraft, and we're landing on the island. Try to land right in here, in the shrubbery. Okay, and here we are. And we're going to head down to where all the amber is. So cruise down this road into the Shroud, and then we're going to look at the compass, head a little northerly, and you can see the sun rising right there. And we're looking for some dead trees right here. We just go in between them. I don't want to fall down, see, I don't want to fall down there. So what I'm looking for is a wood bridge. Here's the amber right here. Anyways, a lot of amber right here. Now this one's tricky. You don't want to fall down there, and if you do, yeah, there's a ladder to climb up depending how far, because it's multiple layers down. What I do is just start digging right here, and I'm hitting amber, right? Don't dig to the north, otherwise you go over the side. We just start digging towards the south, and I fell down. I did not want to do that. So there's amber there. Get out of that hole. I can jump over, I got double jump. There's amber here. Amber there. Amber all the way around. So it's not the best location for farming, but there's a lot of amber here that you can get. Got the shroud timer up, and you can come in here and do this, right? And then there's the ladder that I was referring to. And then if you fall deeper down, yeah, it's pain. So not the best place, but the largest place that I've found so far in Revelwood for amber. Next, we're going to talk about Tusks, and Clay is right straight down. We're at Revelwood Fest Travel, and we're looking off the east side. And it's much easier at night to find the boars that have them, because you're going to see these blue roamers This is where we got our shroud sack off the plants. But let me level off and let me hit updraft. There, in the previous release, there used to be a lot of boars down here. I'm just seeing one right now. And let's just go ahead and kill it. And you can come down here and get boar and shroud sack. So you're going to get a lot of boar tusks down here as well as shroud sack. So we're back to Revelwood. So we just got some boars that were down here. There's boars that are here. One of the places I normally go to get a lot of boar is right over here. So let's go ahead and glide that direction right now. So again, at night, you can really see these blue roamers, and that represents boar. But if we head over this direction, hopefully we'll start seeing them in a second. Look at all the boar that are down there, 3. And I just have it on normal settings here, but I come down here if I need boar tusks. Now again, I have a high level one, so it's not fair. You have to be careful. These got a lot of HP on them when you get to Revelwood, but you can get a lot of boar tusks that are here and quite a bit around the land. But I'll come down here, grab some boar tusks at these 3 locations. So right here, right now, I'll go here and I'll go here. So sometimes I'll land right here and then I'll just run north, grab these, and then run north and grab those. And there's certainly more than that, but that's usually enough to accomplish what we need to do with boar tusks. Next is hardwood, and I'd be remiss to not talk about hardwood. The large trees give you the most yield on hardwood, just like the large trees in Springlands give you the most yield on wood. There's also a lot of resin trees that are around this area, but when you need hardwood, just go off the side of Revelwood right there, right? And we're just going off the west side. And there's a lot of large trees here to get your hardwood. All right, so that's hardwood. Next, we're going to talk about flax and shroud mushrooms. So right there is where the alchemist Motar is in that tower. And in our episode on the Motar and getting to Revelwood, we crossed the shroud area right here. And as we were coming out of the shroud, there is a great place to start your flax. So you get your starter flax down here. You're going to start farming as your flax as quickly as possible, but you get enough flax here to get your farming going very quickly. So when we come up out of the shroud here, we start getting our flax. So you get enough flax to get going. What did I already farm these or harvest them, I should say? So you're getting, here's one more over here. Your flax to start farming. The other important resource that you get are shroud mushrooms. Now, shroud mushrooms, they're all over the place down here in the shroud, of course. But this is where I first get my shroud mushrooms, because you're going to need these for a lot of recipes. It's going to open them up for you and for quite a few things. You also get shroud liquid down here, but there are a lot of shroud mushroom trees here for you to cut down. I get everything I need just in this area right here on the map. So got it marked, and this is where I come to get my shroud mushrooms. My flax is already started. If we go to Revelwood right here and we just go north as if we were going to the Mark of Samoth, or to, let me zoom out a little bit more here, the cave, the abandoned hunter camp, and then the cave entrance is right here. There is a lot of flax that you can find right here. So let's go ahead and mark it. But I have flax farming going. I'm in the hundreds. Next, we're going to talk about indigo. So here's the bridge that we crossed to get to the Revelwood Spire as we're coming from the Alchemist Tower. So we cross here, we start our Flax farm and our Shroud Mushroom gathering and harvesting here. We cross this bridge that I'm facing right here, and as we're running towards the luminescent cave, if you're interested in that material, but I'm not going to talk about it, you run into your first indigo. So you're going to collect a little bit here on your way to Revelwood, and you want to start farming indigo as soon as possible, right? And there's a lot more indigo, of course, in the higher level areas north of Revelwood. As you're getting your clay and flax and other advancements heading to Marcus Sabbath, you're going to find a lot of indigo in this area, but you get enough here to get started and it multiplies quickly when you're farming. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. I got a wolf on my property. I have to kill that. And that's Revelwood mining and harvesting items that you need when you get to Revelwood. There's a lot more to talk about, but that's what you need to focus on as soon as you get here. So that's going to do it. Until that next episode, we're going to head to Nomad, and we're going to talk about that. I probably should talk about Blackmire next, but I actually go from Revelwood to Nomad after killing the boss at the Pike. So I'll get to that episode next. And until that next episode, happy gaming!